So, hello everybody. This is going to be a follow-up video to my Last Jedi review. I've been soaking in all the reactions, all of the hyperbole that's going on the internet, conversations with people who have seen the movie often more than once. So we're going to go into a few conversations that I think need to be had, need to be explored because they're part of the reason why I formulated my review for The Last Jedi the way I did. So now, the first thing is going to be this argument between diehard fans, true fans, and new fans. Okay, this needs to be said. True fans. We wouldn't be fans, there wouldn't be a Star Wars if there were not true fans. These are the fans that have gone on to create canon stories for Star Wars, who have written books, who work for Industrial Lights and Magic, who have gone on to create Star Wars content beyond your wildest dreams. Those are the people who have basically been erased by Disney. These are the people who, if they weren't out there buying Star Wars books, buying Star Wars toys, buying Star Wars DVDs, buying Star Wars video games, going to see the Star Wars movies 4, 5, 6, 7 times in theaters, you would not have a Star Wars to rave about or complain about. So we need to get that out of the way, because this pitting hardcore fans and casual people against each other is asinine, because in the end, we're moviegoers, we're IP interpreters, and we have our visions and our directions. And now, here comes the one that's going to really play on the way I viewed The Last Jedi. Disney knew they had a turd on their hands. And by this, I'm talking about the deceptive trailers. I'm talking about how they muscled theater owners into forcibly putting The Last Jedi on as many screens as possible, guaranteeing a higher rate of income for the film, knowing that it would turn off a significant amount of the viewer base of the film. They forced movie owners to put it on 25% more screens than The Force Awakens. And they penalized theater owners who took the movie, purchased the right to show it, but still put it on a reduced amount of screens. Disney would then take a higher profit percentage for the movie for doing that. Think about it for a second. Why would Disney feel compelled to do that? Force Awakens had the highest weekend opening for any Star Wars movie in history. What were they worried about if the movie following that should have done at least as good, if not better? What were they afraid of? And then you get into the paying off of influencers. Reviewers like IGN, Entertainment Weekly, PC Magazine, all of these different venues, sci-fi, all the movie review sites, there's this drastically glaring conflict between critic metascores and actual audience opinion. They've even gone so far as to claim that a lot of the negative opinions from supposed fans are actually bots leaving false reviews. What? So now there's, what, Russian boogeymen giving bad reviews to American movies? I mean, are we at this point now? So then we get into the other conversation, and this is the one that makes me laugh the most. Hardcore fans are afraid of taking an IP in new directions. If that's the case, there wouldn't be any Star Trek fans left. If that's the case, there wouldn't be any Battlestar Galactica fans left. And if anything, The Force Awakens proved that the hardcore fan base was hungering for a new direction, was hungering for a bit of a more update and mature direction for Star Wars. So the direction that Rian Johnson took by basically wiping out all of the established story threads that The Force Awakens set up and creating this social justice warrior, banal, destroy the past if you have to type of mentality was not only disrespectful to hardcore fans, it did a huge disservice to new fans. New fans who, okay, fine, canon doesn't exist for new fans, but there's still this rich and immense lore of Star Wars. And what Disneyland, I think, was afraid of is they cannot take Star Wars as an IP and go 100% hardcore original without doing some sort of justice to the old IP. Now, I've said this a million times before. If they were intent on completely disavowing everything in the Star Wars canon, why do fan service? Why go out of your way to make 1, 2, 3 movies using prime characters, existing characters, and going out of your way to eliminate them? They serve no purpose. It serves you and the viewership no purpose. You could have started out of the gate with a brand new franchise, and I don't think any of the hardcore fans would have had a problem with it. But what Disney decided to do is an affront to fandom. They don't understand fandom because they themselves have never created original IPs. Most of Disney's profits have been adopting medieval fairy tales into animated movies. That's the prime drive for Disney. So now they're out there using their financial weight to buy up intellectual properties that they did not create, that they do not understand. And this is dangerous. Marvel's going to be the next one that starts seeing this happen to their properties. Once they're done burning through the original stories, the higher standard stories in the comic books, and they start diving in looking for new stuff to mine, they're going to find that there isn't much there that connects with people, and then they're going to be on the hook to create their own stories. And when that happens, you're going to see the quality of Disney's IP purchases go in the toilet. It's already starting with Marvel. Marvel is becoming this very formulaic, comedically influenced joke. And it's not connecting as much with fans. Thor Ragnarok, in my ideas, was a poor-ass Thor movie. And I'm worried for what Avengers Infinity War might turn into. I'm worried what the next Guardians of the Galaxy is going to look like, because the second one was also very bad, in my opinion. So, you know, when we view this under the guise of what Disney is doing, and how they're starting to try to shift blame, because they knew what they had. They knew going into release what they had. They had to use deceptive advertising practices to get asses in theaters, knowing that a lot of the hardcore fans, because they're hardcore fans, would go back a second or third time simply on the principle of, well, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I didn't pay enough attention, maybe I'm being too much of a hardhead and need to open my mind. But after the second, third viewing, most of the fans out there are still highly disappointed with this movie. And if you disagree with me, you're welcome to comment. I love feedback all the time, but search inside yourself. Search inside yourself and ask yourself, do you like the movie because it fits modern day tropes? Or do you like the movie because it's Star Wars?